Hello, folks. It's Barry Lewis Green here, aka Tug, the Unity guy with Epic Engage. And this is our latest episode in hashtag humanity, which I am so joyfully loving, where we talk about being human in the world and lifting that notion. We've got two wonderful co-hosts. We got a very special guest this month, which I won't be introducing, but Russell will be. Zhang, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, hello everyone, to our lovely guest and also to our lovely friends who is watching these shows. I hope you all enjoy the lovely springs or fall wherever you are. My name is Joan. I'm located in Toronto and I'm working to help to reduce the climate change and sustainabilities.
Love it.
And
And
I will pass
Russell.
the one to Russell.
Thank you. Friends, welcome to hashtag humanity. My name is Russell. I'm based here in Madrid and I work with women and girls, advancing the notion of nobility within that space. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Christine Zehtab Palomar. As you can see, we share the same beginning of a last name. That name belongs to our grandfather, and us girls in the family decided to keep it as tribute to him. So the second part of our last names belong to the men we have married, right? So that's how, just so that there's no confusion here. Christine, I know everybody would like to call her Dr. Christine, but to me, she's just Christine. Christine is the person in this whole planet who has known me before longer than anyone else. Literally, the only time I was away from her was the first 2 years of my life. Other than that, she has been my constant companion. Dr. Christine is also, she's a pediatric doctor. She is a mountaineer. She is a yoga instructor. She is a mother of three amazing human beings. She is the heart of her community. And that is just, and this is just the things I know. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm so excited, I'm stuttering. Christine, would you do us the great honor of introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about what you do and why you do the things you do?
Hello, everyone. Good day. It's actually 11 in the evening here in Talibo, Aklan, Philippines. It's way past my bedtime, even if I'm a doctor, because I go to sleep early because my day starts early. So as Russell said, by the way, hello, Barry. Hello, Zhang. Good to meet you finally in an interactive way because I've always just watched your shows. So I'm Russell's younger sister by 2 years, and we're a family of five. My biological family. So we're three sisters, and we have two brothers. So if Russell and I were to be compared to yeah, we're like twins born at different years. Twins in the sense we understand each other, although we're not totally alike. So maybe fraternal twins will do. So yes, Russell said I'm a pediatrician by profession, but a yoga teacher by passion. So, and on top of that, I have the spiritual, I have work with my religion, work with civic organizations, and my hobbies. So there's a lot to choose from, which path we will discuss leading to how I serve humanity better. So I'm ready for anything.
With your permission, I would like to needle my sister a little bit more. So as a pediatric doctor, you have chosen, so this is your career path. You have chosen yoga as your passion. How do these two overlap, intertwine?
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, Russ, for the benefit of Barry, Zhang, and the audience watching this, um, um, as I heard previous interviews of you with mothers, So as a mother, it was my duty to be hands-on with the kids. So after I graduated from my pediatric residency in pediatrics, I wanted to do subspecialty. I wanted to subspecialize in pulmonology, so to become a pediatric pulmonologist. But since my husband is a pulmonologist already, so I was left to not furthering or doing a subspecialty. But there was this urge in me to deepen my knowledge in something. So obviously not in the field of medicine. So in the field of wellness, that's where yoga came in. They are intertwined in the sense it's health and wellness that I am dealing with. They are different in the sense that in medicine, I usually see patients when they are already sick. Moms bring their kids in when they're already sick. But the practice of yoga or this passion of mine is such that we are trying to prevent illness
Right.
by practicing healthy lifestyle, healthier choices, movement, and meditation and mindfulness. So it's like one is preventive, one is treatment wise. Yeah.
Right.
I'm chomping at the bit with a bunch of questions, but I don't know if Jean, I don't want to, I don't want to, I could dive in with a
Go
water.
ahead. Go ahead.
Um,
There's so many questions. I would like to take it first.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to follow up on the yoga thing because I'm interested in taking on yoga. I've got some health things that I'm trying to proactively deal with, but
Mhm.
where my heart's really going with the question, and it's born out of Russell's introduction, but also Russell giving me a bit of a heads up on what you do and all the things you do and your connection to community. And you're working as a medical practitioner and you're into yoga. And there's a strong sense for me already that service is really important to you. And where this show is about exploring being human in the world, I do realize that there's what's the word for it? There is a stream of thought out there that it's all about me. It's all about, what can I get from the world and what can I, gain, and that ambition thing and all that cool stuff. I guess my question is, what is your perspective on how important it is to serve in being a human? If that makes sense. Like, why is service so important in the human experience from your perspective? Does that make sense?
Service. More of like sharing. Like when you're a child and you have a lollipop and you have a friend, you want to share this lollipop with your friend because this sweet treat makes you happy. So you want to share it with your friend, right? Or your friends. Not that you're going to lick from the same lollipop, but when you have a new toy or you found out that, oh, this anthill leads to this. So when you have something new and it makes you happy, I think it's human nature for you to want to share it. And that's where my passion for yoga, for teaching yoga rather, has come from. When I was looking for a way to stay fit, Barry, after my third child, I gave birth to three boys via cesarean section. And after my third pregnancy, I wanted to start my fitness journey. So I tried different things and yoga was there, which was able to answer everything, not just the physical aspect, but the mental and the the spiritual aspects too. First exposure to yoga was with our mother. So when we were growing up, I would see Mama do yoga on the bed, yoga poses, and I didn't know that that was yoga, only to find out later on. So our early awareness of the practice of yoga was through the asana practice of our mom. Anyhow, moving forward, so the point is when you have something beautiful, worth sharing, that's where the urge in me to share the practice of yoga came from. So I went into training. So it's a 200-hour training, Barry and Zhang, that normally the yoga schools will give it for a 40-day straight program, which I could not take again because of the same dilemma that the kids were growing up. I had to be hands-on. I had to be not that at home. I was practicing already, but the fact that it was offered in a nearby city, for 6 months staggered program. So every weekend I'd fly to another city to get the program over 6 months just to complete the 200 hours. Yes, just to feel certified and be able to share everything, not just partially. So I improved myself in that aspect. So yeah, the reason why I shared it is because I was happy. It made me happy and I knew its benefits. I just wanted to share with our community here.
So I've got a follow-up question. I feel like a journalist here, but I've got a follow-up question. I think you beautifully answered my question in terms of looking at how important it was as children for when we found something joyful that we wanted to share it, that this was born into us. And so that answers my question on why service is so important, because we were born into this notion of generosity and giving until it got somehow trained out of many of us, So I love that. Now I'm curious about the yoga thing. Right? With a great purpose. Russell, I think Jung might know, but Russell certainly knows that I'm dealing with some medical stuff, and you discovered yoga and you found it beneficial, clearly, and you invested the time and the energy and the travel and all that stuff to get it. But I'm also getting the sense that because you found it so wonderful, you want to share it. What is the value? And this might be a rhetorical question, but for somebody who doesn't know much about yoga, like me, what is the value of taking on a yoga like this?
The
What
value
will
of
I gain?
the first thing usually when people hear, okay, I'll come to yoga class is flexibility because they want to become flexible in the body. The additional take home will be that you're not just going to make the body flexible, but you're going to also make the mind flexible in the sense that we practice meditation. You are going to make your life better in the sense that although yoga has its roots in Buddhism, Jainism, and in Hinduism, it doesn't really stress on religion. No, it's more of the relationship. So yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which is union. So you can see it either as union of man and God or union of the body, the mind, and the spirit. No, so if you're saying how can someone who has no knowledge on of yoga, how can I share it with them? So that's the point. It's not just a physical engagement, but a spiritual journey also. It is a way of life. It is a way of bettering your whole self. And science, Barry and Zhang, Russell has delved into it, especially into the meditation aspects. In medicine, we do not prescribe a drug based on testimonials. We prescribe medicines based on clinical trials. In the practice of yoga, it will not be here for the past 5,000, 6,000 years if it hasn't done any benefit to humanity. Even the sense that United Nations has declared a World Yoga Day celebration, this attests to its the fact that it betters you, and it's a tool for peace. If we practice yoga, we become non reactive. We become passive. We are not aggressive. We take a step back. We think. We analyze. So this has been seen by the United Nations. That's why it has been declared. Yes, Russell. Yeah,
So sorry for interrupting. No, please finish your sentence.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It has been acknowledged for that reason. So like other fitness programs, it's not just the body that we are improving, not just strength and flexibility, but there's the aspect of the mind and the spirit.
I love that. I'm sold. Okay. Russell? I'm sold.
Friends, so Barry, the instructor that you have is crucial to the love connection you will have within yourself, right? So your instructor plays a pivotal role in how you fall in love with yoga. And it's the same as if you had a great chemistry teacher, you will go into, I think, the development of medicines. If you had a great bio teacher, you will go into the like she became a pediatric doctor, no? So Christine has been my yoga instructor off and on every time I return to the Philippines. And as an instructor, because she on June 9, am I correct with the date? On June 9, she is having 30 participants join her for a retreat and to facilitate that large a number of individuals. So you know how, Barry, you were asking, how about for me? Imagine you and there are 29 others of you. She can facilitate that space. And the reason, and this is a testament to her capacity of how developed her mind has become, because when I've joined her sessions, she speaks only to me. I know she speaks to all me and all of whoever else is attending, but while I'm there, I feel like she's speaking only to me and my heart. The yoga instructor who has that capacity keeps me in the game, because we fall out of practice all the time. You know, the consistency of our practice and the discipline which we have as human beings is not so rooted into the heart of us. So the instructor plays that loving role. She waters you. She uses her voice to keep you in the game, because it's a long-term commitment, actually. But Christine, I have this. There's an ache in my heart when it comes to yoga. All right. And we've spoken about this once before, because here's the thing. It is easy for those who have wealth to become instructors, because it's an expensive program. You know how you said you had to fly to this city? I'm calculating in my mind how much the flight was, the space you were renting over there, plus the cost of the yoga training program. For you to get your 20 hours, I'm estimating in my head, let's say 10,000 US dollars, right? That is a very conservative number. And we're talking about an individual who may have the capacity because of a career which sustains that capacity. How about for a local who has no money and wants to serve via yoga? What is their option, right? If you cannot become a trainer because you cannot get trained because it costs so much, what is your option?
Oh, that's the question?
Yes, that's the question.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, exactly. You said it. No, I have my practice of medicine as my profession and passion. So a passion definitely needs money, right? So that's what sustains it. So what I do in class, when I see students who are passionate in the practice, I I let them attend class pro bono. But I tell them, as long as you keep coming back, then you are your fee is for free. No, you don't have to pay monetary wise. So just come and just share and bring more friends in. So that's how I encourage those who love the practice but who cannot afford to train. But there are certain, I have in fact two friends who love it so much that they are planning to get the yoga teachers training as their retirement. So they're in their 50s and they're planning to use their retirement money to get
Wow.
trained. It's 200 hours, Russell. It's 200 hours, not
Yeah.
20. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, because so they
Yeah.
have to wait until retirement. Are there other ways of getting funded as an individual if you want to, like for example, if I wanted to become an instructor and I had no money and that I didn't have a wonderful person like you who would be like your pro bono, what
Mhm.
other options do I have to become an instructor?
What I know of is because I'm not a yoga school, no. The yoga schools, they offer installment plans. They, I think, even give discounts. I haven't looked into that. But
Right.
mine, I was just speaking about the students in the class, in a 1 hour class, who would love the practice of yoga. Per FYI, you know what? The practice of yoga is, I would always say, not the practice in the studio. It should be your home practice. So if you are such that your practice is only in the studio, so I'm not doing something right, because that spark that you talked about has to be such that you will practice at home, not just the asanas, but the meditation and the way of life, a yogi is supposed to be. Um, Yeah. So
Uh,
as teachers, we are just there to open the door. It is up to the student to come in and absorb as much. So we are just facilitators in this um,
Right.
I've got
program.
to follow up, but I see Zhang on the bus, and I want to bring Zhang in. So Zhang,
I was just wondering really for this, especially Christine, your experience. I love doing yoga. I take yogas during my free time. I was really appreciate the chance that this is the chance I can communicate with my body
Mm.
and let my body communicate to this world. Because if I do other exercise, I ask my body to do that. I ask my legs to spin on the wheel for my cyclings. I ask my arm to lifting things up, lifting things down. But when I'm doing the yoga, is I communicate with my body. I let my body to feel the strings, to feel the conflicts, and I can see the reflections of my body, how to feel this one. And after that, I feel I have like stretched it. I have touched the whole universe by that. That is really like my feelings of yoga. I don't know if like Russell, Christine, Barry, if you feel the same. And I do want another question, be like, because it sounds like being a yoga instruction is already very busy. And Christine, you have your full-time job to be a doctor, and you and husband raise up for 3 kids together. So my one would be like, if after talk about this, how you and your husband, like a team, like a union, to make both of you work-life balance.
mm,
Work-life balance. Okay. So I believe in the practice of moderation. Um, if I were to practice my being a doctor the whole day, which I could do, I'll sit in the clinic, wait for the patients, come check them up. I'll be in the clinic the whole day. But I have decided, Zhang, to have my practice of medicine half day, mornings. Before I go to the clinic, I make rounds, then I do clinic, then I rest, then I prepare for the rest of the civic organizations, the religious, the teaching, that. So it's just part part. I'm not totally because in as a pediatrician here in our town, when a mom gives birth, we are there to physically be present. So we have an OB-GYN partner, and we are the pediatricians. When the baby is out, they give it to us and we do the initial baby care. So it has even reached the point sometimes that when I'm called by the hospital, oh, this mom is already 9 cm's active labor. In less than an hour, the baby will come out. It has even reached the point, Jang, that I would endorse her to my for someone to cover for me. I have 8 yogis here in the studio versus one mom who's going to give birth. Okay, I choose the 8 yogis. Please tell the other doctor to cover for me. So that's how important it I feel that I have responsibility to these 8 yogis in front of me. Of course, lesser chiching because there's more money involved in the practice of medicine, but the love for teaching, because when I was in elementary, I remember when I grow up, I would like to become a teacher like our mom. Our mom is a teacher, so as an educator. So I think that's goes back to that we love to teach. I love to teach rather, and teaching yoga is one of them. So and then so your question was about work life balance. How do I manage the kids and my husband? So FYI, my eldest son is already turning 22 years of age. He's a dentistry student. My second son is 19 years of age. He's a physical therapy student. So they're both in college. They're both in university. And the youngest is grade 8. So he is going to turn 14 years. So he's the one only left here at home. My husband is not a yogi, but a couple of times I've pulled him to class when I teach partner yoga. So I have to teach a husband and wife, a team of husbands and wife. So I have to have my husband on board. So he's game. He participates, he helps, but he's not a yogi. He, in fact, just supports the fact that he says, "Oh, do you need the pickup for the plants? We have to bring the plants there. Okay, we'll set up. Oh, do you need the speaker? Yeah, you can use it." He just facilitates. So that's how we help each other, or how he helps me in the my teaching yoga, and in the practice of medicine. So yeah, he's more full time than I am. So just give and take, and yeah, that's how I can give because I receive. My cup is full from my husband, from the students, and that's what I feel happy about at the end of the day. That I have helped this community of usually women. My students are more of women, those who come to the studio. But I've reached out to schools also and I've given yoga talks and sessions to universities, to different civic organizations. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Zhang, I hope I answered your question.
No. First of all, this is not an interview.
Yeah.
And it does not matter if we have the question or not. It's more about sharing, and I really appreciate your sharing to know a piece of you, like a piece of your life. And I feel
Yes.
so grateful to have a chat with you because you show the not only us but also the audience another way of life. It's not about full-time working. It's not of like whole dedicate to the family. It's not about like we need to like make sure every of minute is full of tasks. It's more of we found most of the things joy for our life and we enjoyed it. And we, even though our family members are not in the same interest with us, but we support each other. So this is things I really appreciate you share with us. And it's very like inspiring. That's my one. I know
Thank
Russell was
you,
going to have
Zhang.
more questions, so I will bring my question maybe like later or something I
Okay,
want to dig
Zhang.
it deep. Yeah.
Thank
I have
you.
my question is actually to the universe because I know that you have just completed the mountaineering, the mountain. You just conquered Mount Giting, which is one of the most treacherous mountains in the Philippines. And I know that something like that takes months of practice and preparation. I also know that you are a soroptimist, so you're working within the community and giving education and sustaining other women and girls. I also am aware that you're a triathlete, right? And then you just completed one or two races recently. So my question to the universe is why is it that some people seem to have their 24 hours different than me? My 24 hours not fit the things that you do. How so literally, what kind of time management skills do you have, which maybe the rest of us can learn because you seem to be thriving in all of them. And then the reason I'm saying you're thriving, not just based on the stories, because I'm looking at your face and you look so fresh at 11 at night. So what is the time management tool that you're using and how can the rest of us learn that?
Time management tool. It all goes down still to moderation in everything. So priority is the practice of medicine. So I go to the clinic, I work, yeah, half day. And then the rest of the hours of the day, I spend it on my calendar, projecting what has to be done and prioritize. Um, Knowing that life is short, no? So you want to be able to, like, how do I want to be remembered when I leave this world, no? So I want them to remember me as the fun doctor, the adventure seeker, one who made me feel this way, one who appreciated me. So in order to do that, so that actually that's my ikigai, that's my life's purpose. Na I'm here to, I want to inspire, and that's why I'm out there in the social media, not to make them feel jealous, but to inspire them that even at 48, I just turned, am I 48? I'm 48 now. I just turned 48. And I started climbing mountains and doing the triathlon bar, Zhang, in the past 2 years. Why? Maybe when I was growing up, I was too studious. You ask Russell. I was studying in the room and she was watching TV. I'm just kidding. So I was studying the first 30 years of my life. And when the pandemic hit, um, the yoga was there the whole time, and then a group of moms, we became bikers because that was the only physical activity allowed during the pandemic, and outdoor activity. So we became bicicleta moms. Bicicleta, busy as in busy, busy, from the word bicicleta, bicycle. So we're bicicleta moms. So we would bikes from now and then, from time to time rather, and then we explored mountain climbing because hiking, rather day hiking, because that was also an allowable sport during the pandemic. And then it evolved and then it evolved. And then only to find out that I have the physical capacity. And the thing about mountain climbing, sorry, I'm talking too much. The thing about mountain climbing is this, I mentioned it to Russell earlier about appreciating art, Zhang. Some people would spend airfare, go to a place just to see the work of art of Michelangelo or the Sistine Chapel. You know, you will spend money to go there. I told Russell, these mountain climbing escapades we have also require money. So mine and my sons and my co-moms, we have decided to spend the money that we have to see work of nature. So why climb a mountain? Because you see the mountain from here, it looks like that, it's jagged. Then you see it again from up close and from around. So having us appreciate nature's beauty from two different perspectives. So that's how we've sustained mountain climbing, and it's a form of staying fit, because I believe that when we are healthy and fit as moms, as women, we can better be of service to humanity, right? When we're not healthy, how can we treat our patients? How can we teach our children? How can we teach the community? Because in our religion, I am a Baha'i, Barry and Zhang, and in our religion, we are taught to encourage teaching activities, because you do not just want to better your immediate family, my kids only. No, what about the surrounding that my kids are in? So you want to teach them. So we have children's classes, junior youth programs, where you try to improve the people around your immediate family. And yeah, so going back to being a teacher, you want to better the community, make them healthier. So they're all intertwined. And so going back to time management, I think it's just a moderation of everything, Russ. Yeah.
Oh boy, do I have a question.
Okay, shoot.
I'm finding this such a delicious conversation. Um, for people watching, I don't know, I guess Russell and Jung know this. I'm 37 days away from retiring from full-time teaching. I'm not retiring because I've got other things, but I am aware. I have my students doing a stress plan for a course I'm doing right now, and I did a sample, and I said, my challenge stressors, my workload and deadlines are going to reduce, but my hindrance stressors, which is distractions and uncertainties and all that stuff, is going to increase. And so where I'm going with this is that I'm hearing in a lot of this conversation, particularly after Russell's question on time management, there is an importance of what intention looks like. And
Sorry.
there is an importance in what intention looks like, living with intention. You discovered bicycling, and then you felt, "Oh, this is something," and you poured more of yourself into it. I guess my question is kind of twofold. One is very specific, because I am still stuck on the yoga thing, right? So here's where I am, and just to give context, I'm trying to design the next stage of my life. I've got a gym downstairs with a boxing bag that I love. It's become my new friend. I'd love to have that same relationship with yoga. The thing for me is that I'm trying to create, and to Russell's point, a space where it all works together. So, my question is about how important is intention in terms of designing our lives, whether we call it time management or whatever, but how important to you is spending the time on the things that are important to you? It's almost a rhetorical question. And then I guess, well, I'm going to leave my follow-up so that I don't cloud it up, but I've got a follow-up on it. But yeah, how important is it for us to spend time thinking about what's important to us so that we spend time on what's important to us? Does that make sense?
I don't know how to answer. I'm sorry.
Okay. So
Please, please.
and it's not just to you. I'm thinking to everybody, is that I'm right now looking at what my life is going to look like And I'm already realizing that if I don't do that, my life will just, I'll be like a bobber on the ocean, just going wherever the energies. How important is it for any one of us to get clear on where we want to put our energies so that we design the kind of life that you seem to be living, where you're doing medicine and you're doing yoga and you're climbing mountains, that it seems to me it's about figuring out what we want to be and then go be doing it. So I guess I'm throwing that out to everybody. I'd love to get a sense of what intention looks like, living on purpose. Russell's got her fingers up.
Um, it's interesting, Barry, that you brought up intention, because you're right. Christine does seem to have a very intentional life, right? It feels so well lived. And I remember what I was like in high school, especially in high school. I was more, my father called me a sheep, like sheep-like. And then he says, "Why are you being sheep? You have to be the goat." And then I remember feeling so offended by that metaphor. But I did understand later that he was saying you don't have to just follow because it is what the majority is doing.
Right.
You have to find your place in this world and do that. Because actually, when we go back to the question we had for Christine, how do you time manage? We don't have that many hours in a day to just lose cheaply. So if we are not intentional and focused and disciplined and decided about the kind of people we want to become, then we will become like the majority, which is just going with the waves as opposed to carving the wave, right? So we are more to the back of the boat as opposed to being the front of the boat, which cuts the wave. And it's not that because we're doing that so that we make a mark for ourselves to look at me, I'm so amazing, on my tombstone, Russell the Great. It's not because of that. It is more because when we want to be remembered, I think, like going back to what Christine said, the reason I'm bringing this up is because after you said it, Christine, it almost like was a slap on my face. Yes, we do want to be remembered as people who have made a mark because someone's life has improved, right? Someone is slightly better off, slightly healed, slightly calmer, slightly peaceful, because we breathed into their space or because we walked into their space. And if we walk out of it without even knowing what we have done, they have improved. So it's that kind of intentionality. And I get the sense, you know what, especially in the world of social media we live in right now, where we are exposed to so many different kinds of things and we're swaying back and forth like pendulums, to focus on what we want to expose ourselves to, the kinds of books we read, the kinds of words spoken to us, the kinds of people who love us, all of those kinds of choosings. Because fundamentally, I think as humans, to choose is the most powerful thing, and to choose the simple things is the hardest thing, right? So I guess that level of intentionality, so that felt like a total roundabout thing. That level of streamlining of our lives and focusing maybe will give the three of us the chance to get to the level where Christine is at. Because I'm always amazed. Sorry, go ahead, Barry. I saw your finger
No,
waving.
no, that wasn't interrupt, but you finish your thought.
No, but it is that. No, because I want to have that kind of day. I get the sense that when she puts her head on the pillow, it's almost like, how when we imagine if God whispered, if we do believe in God, and if God whispered on us, she will feel that breath because she lived a full day. It's that kind of day I want to have as well. That when I put my head down, right? It's like it feels like a blessing, and it's this ache that I have inside, which I can't put my finger on it, but hearing Christine talk about it, hearing that question of intentionality from you is giving me this sense that maybe it's that we want to live so full and well, right?
So that helps clarify my question. And I'm going to direct this one to Christine because I'm really fascinated by your life and your work and so forth, right? You mentioned moderation. A lot of people understand moderation as just even keel, but I ran into the guy who sold me my last 8 cars, and I told him this is gonna be my last car because it's a stick shift, and I get to moderate the speeds, right? The moderation is about choice, as Russell has just said. You clearly have a full life. How do you moderate things in the sense that you're living with intention? You noted that you do your medicine in the mornings and so forth. What capacities do we need as humans to be able to better moderate our lives so we spend the right amount of tension on the right amount of things? Because clearly you're doing it. You're mountain climbing, you're doing yoga, you're serving your community, you're a doctor. What is it about you that allows you to have that kind of discipline? That's my question.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. Listening to you speak about these things, because it's not the I live by, but knowing that we are in this earth for a finite number of years. I'm 48. How many years do I have left? How many years can I be walking? How many years will I be left with no aches and pains? So as long as I am physically able, I will do it. Now, moderation, and instead of popping pills because I'm sick, because I'm not healthy, because my blood chemistry is off, I'd rather invest in hard work. I have to wake up early. I have to run. Sometimes my muscle will ache, but in the long run, this will make me healthy. Why healthy? Because I am taking care of the body that I have, which I know will not last for so long. So while I have it, because maybe my husband will say, "What do you really want? You want to die at 100 years of age? Why do you want to be very healthy?" I said, "No. How sure are you? Maybe I will die tomorrow. I will be bumped by a car. I'll die tomorrow." So our deaths are certain, but when it's uncertain. So I would like to live maximally because maybe tomorrow I will not be alive. Not to the point that I'll make stupid decisions. Not to the point that I will abuse my body. So this physical body is a temple of our soul. Treat it right, stay healthy. So these are the things I have in mind constantly. That's why you might think, oh, physical body, why? Why do we have to build muscles? Why do we have to be flexible? So that we will age gracefully, so that we will not be a burden to those whom we are with. We will not be need a caregiver. That's what I would tell my husband. So I'm not like, I know, but my husband has medicine for diabetes. He has insulin. He has hypertension. This all went back to his practice in high school. He would drink. He was a social drinker. The damage has been done earlier. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but FYI, I also donate blood every 3 or 6 months. Russell and my grandfather was a Red Cross blood galloner. And these are the things I look up to. Oh, how I wish someday I'll be a blood galloner like my grandfather. So I have to be healthy. I have to eat vegetables. I have to be strong. I have to be taking care of the sick. How will I take care of the sick if I am sick myself? So these are the things which push me. And at the end of the day, exercising doesn't just make you feel great, the endorphins. It has effects on the mind. When we are physically fit, we make better decisions. It's a cycle. They're
Perfect.
interrelated, everything. So yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. I don't say that I'm not afraid to die, but if I will be called, I will say that okay, I'm ready.
I
You know.
like that.
I love this.
Yeah, I got a specific
Right,
question, but I'm going to
Zhang.
leave it to Zhang. Zhang,
No, I just really want to echo for this. Like, I love to this be like, there's no regrets in the life. And also at the same time, take care of, I want to say every moment, but I would just say you take care of yourself. You put yourself, like your own, like targets, missions at first, and you plan it ahead. Like, I want to stay healthy, so I do this, I do that. And you're not only just challenge yourself, but like, I want to do mountain climbing. I want to do just conquer that top, like the peak of that mountain. I think, Christine, you are not doing that. You will just like, I want to explore the new horizons of my life, and just going for that. I really love that attitude, and seems there's nothing could stop you, not your work, not your like family or anything. You just be like, let's move it together.
Mhm.
And and it's not like something be like yes or no, like yes, I'm going to do that, no, I cannot do that. It's more like let's negotiate and then let's do it together. I make my target, and no matter how it takes, I will just got it. I really, really love all of these things. But I would just be like, when you have to do these things, is there really any challenges that you feel it's very hard to get in your past? And when you have these challenges, how you overcome it? Because I can imagine that when you set up this goal, when you do this activity, it must be something like really hard time or really difficulties to do with it.
Hmm.
But if it's not, then just forget this one.
I'm not saying that I have regarding my past, if there's anything I would have changed regarding wrong decision makings or choices, no, I will not change anything from the past because I am the person that I am now because of those mistakes, wrong decisions, and it bettered me as a person right now. Challenges. Your question is why do I take these challenges or what?
No, is there when you do these things, is there any challenges you faced before?
Which one in particular? Like, what do you mean? Which challenges, Jam? Sorry.
For example, like it could be both, like physical challenges, be like start rock climbing, you need a good muscles. Maybe at that
Uh-huh.
time you don't have that enough muscle to carry you on. And
Uh-huh.
or like you said, like when you do yogas, like you have the challenges that every 2, 3 like weeks, you need to fly to another place to do
Mm-hmm.
your yoga class. And
Mm-hmm.
also like the one you just talk about the time conflicts. You have your work to take off the newborn, but at the same time you have yogis with you at the studio. Like these kind of things. Do you have any biggest one when you do this like either activities or make decisions? That was my question.
Oh, okay. Challenges come in when my husband doesn't allow me. When no, when he would no, so far he's been supportive, no. So it's a challenge when he's like he doesn't give me the positive thumbs up, then I'll have to you know how do you say lambing in English? I'll have to what's
Encourage
lambing?
approval.
Yeah, I'll try to be sweet with him, so he'll say okay, yes. So that's a challenge when I do not get the approval of my husband. But at the end of the day, he'll say, even if I say no, you'll still go. I said, no, naman, not naman, not like that. I will not go. Maybe not now, but maybe next week. I'm just kidding. Challenges. Well, physically, these are challenging, Jang. Like in September. I'll be joining the Ironman. So it's a triathlon event. So it's physically challenging, yes.
You'll be
Um,
the arrow women. This
Iron
is the arrow women. You the
Ar-
often play the arrow man like a woman. So I think that's people call it arrow women.
Arrow women. Okay, yes.
Iron Women. Yeah.
Oh, Iron Women. Yes, yes, yes. Iron Women. So why do I want to join it? I've already done it in the past because it's in September and my whole year started with me working towards that. It's hard. That's a challenge. It's a physical challenge. But what's harder is the mental challenge of completing it. So that's another challenge, physical challenge if, with my husband. Um, what else? What challenge pa?
You know, may I interrupt quickly? You mentioned that sometimes he doesn't give his positive approval or agreement to you doing these activities, yet you pursue them. Yes. So I get the sense that you have chosen a path for yourself. So, but I also understand that unity in the family is necessary because it's a cultural dynamic, right? So, and then you use the word, yes, you try to make paswiti. So this idea of paswiti is it's not being alluring or it's not being tickling him to make him confused. It is really to encourage him to see her perspective, right? And there's an Asian way of doing that. I'm not certain if China does it, Zhang, but I know that a lot of the Malays do it. So it's a way of pointing the head, which is resistant, into the direction Christine wants him to look at, right? So that he agrees for her to complete this mission. Now, I get the sense that this is also one of the challenges because you've mentioned him a few times, right? How important is it for spouses to support each other so that you can, like an individual like you, gets to reach your full potential? I get the sense it's so important, but how do we cultivate that encouragement so that they always, yes, go ahead, right? They don't become the wall, they don't become the barrier, but they become the helping hand. So I know it's important. How do you cultivate that in him or in the other individuals in your family who might be barriers to your long-term plans?
So first, you invite them to the activity, which invitation wise, the beginning, negative already. So what we do is consultation, and what we do is give and take. Okay. I've been married for almost 21 years, and it's give and take. You should know his soft side, sweet spot. He loves to do this, and I don't agree with it. I'm not for it. But I would say, okay, sige, you can do it na lang, basta I will also do the other thing. No, I mean, it's
Right.
like give and take. Okay, so I support you, you support me. As long as it's not something which will hurt the relationship, or that as long as it's not something which will endanger your relationship as a husband and wife or as partners. I think it should be give and take. It's more of give and take rather than because opposites attract. He doesn't like the things I do. I do not like the things he does. But it's just but we just have to support each other because it makes him happy. Okay, I'll you have my blessing. It makes me happy. Please give me your blessing. Don't send me with negative vibrations. Because like Russell was telling me, the last mountain I climbed, Jang, was in mountain climbing. There's a category of degree of difficulty. No, it's a 7/9, 8/9. So this last mountain we climbed in an island nearby is 9/9. So it is really technically it's a 90-degree assault. So I had told him, please pray na lang for me that nothing will happen to me. I said, well, nobody has died climbing the mountain. It's not a race. If I get tired, I'll stop. I will not release my hand from the boulder if my feet are not firmly grounded, so this, I let him understand. So when he has the clear picture of what's going on, just like in a surgical procedure, you have to explain to the patient clearly what's going to happen to them, and when they understand and they agree, then they sign the consent. So him, I get his blessing, or I make him understand, or not just for me, no, for those who are watching. When you are able to appease their doubts, I think that's when they agree with you. No, so it's getting across what you want, but in a way that you will let them feel assured. Because I know that at the end of the day, Zhang, my husband, Barry, is just concerned about my safety. My parents, my siblings, my friends, they would call my attention. So yes, but I would say that I'm not like, jumping from off a cliff without, the harness. So I think communication is key, give and take is key, respecting each other's interests in marriage.
I do have a follow-up question that's very specific, but I'm gonna preface that with a thought that's occurring to me right now. But that same communication and negotiation happens within us too. We have two sides of us that are arguing a certain point. One side is saying, we could do that, and the other side's going, I don't know about that. We have that internal conversation. I do, in a lot of things. And I'm going to get specific on it with regards to the question that I had. It's about yoga, so I'm going back to yoga. Okay.
Sure.
As I design my life, I've got a gym downstairs that I'm going to go visit this afternoon. I got my boxing bag. I'm really interested in pursuing yoga. Don't know if part of my lifestyle is going to be going to yoga classes per se, right? Because it's another thing to schedule in, and I'm going to have other things that I want to do. I don't know. I may decide that I am going to find a good yoga teacher. I don't even know how you find a good yoga teacher that fits for you, but my first instinct is to think, how do I start yoga on my own? How do I get started in such a way that I can go down to my gym, box with my boxing bag, and then spend time in yoga? Is there a way for people who are watching to get engaged in connecting to yoga without thinking, I gotta go and sign up for a course. I might sign up for a course at some point in time, but I'm thinking I wanna find my own private practice. So yeah, what are your thoughts on how people can introduce themselves to yoga privately, if that makes sense?
Okay. I got you, Barry. In the practice of yoga, I think you will be able to have that you can just jumpstart it by having a teacher. You have to be guided a couple of times first so that you do the poses properly, so that you do not hurt yourself. And that's the physical part. Then they'll guide you how to meditate. Then they'll guide you in your breathing. Another key thing in the practice of yoga is the pranayama, or the breathing part. So if you're the type who doesn't want to attend a big class, then maybe you request for a one-on-one class, or you can even, there are a lot of teachers, Barry, who are willing to go to your place, private class. So if you're not comfortable in a class, you can have a private class. It might be a bit pricey, but that's an investment. It might be a bit pricey, but that will not be every day, maybe once a week for the start, for a month, then eventually once every 2 weeks, once a month, just to check in on you, just to guide you. Because when you know the way things are done, I mean, the movements, it's a private practice, it's a home practice, it's a self practice actually, which will propel you forwards in your journey. FYI, all these movements, these poses, all these contortions other people call that we get into are so that our body becomes relaxed, our joints are warmed up, and we can be able to sit down. Because actually, the purpose of the bodily movements is for us to be able to sit quietly and meditate.
Oh,
Because meditation is the key. The asanas, when there's an iceberg, the asanas or the postures are just the tip of it. Your choices of food, the things you read, the thoughts you have, the words you say. This is yoga. This is the bottom part of it. How you communicate with yourself, as Zhang was saying, how I listen to my body. Because at the end of the day, you can be a yogi and you can be a plus size yogi because you don't develop the muscles, but you're flexible in the mind. I would tell my students, Barry, that one thing I got better at in my 11, 12 years of practice of yoga is my breathing. Now I can have longer inhales and longer exhales. And I'm not very bendy. I'm not very flexible, and still you're a yogi. I'm not vegetarian. I eat everything, but I eat with mindfully. I chew my food. I appreciate every bite I take. These are the things that yoga makes you become mindful of how you treat your body, and even mindful of the environment, Zhang. I was telling Russell
Yeah.
about the environment, how yogis benefit, or how we have imprints in our mother nature. Like, I become more mindful with the choices. Like, as a yogi, you wanna be less of someone who has a carbon imprint, carbon emission. So I don't know if it's okay to say this. Like, before I would use sanitary pads. Now I would use different things for my menstrual cycle, those which are friendly for nature, recycling, because you are more mindful. You're more mindful when you're a yogi, right? And yeah, basically that, Zhang. And I Oh, yeah, okay. You want to share your reflection quickly?
Yeah.
And one thing, I have an
Go ahead.
organization, Suroptimist. We are working with women and for women. This biennium here in the Philippines, our governor has the thrust of green. It's Mother Nature, taking care of Mother Nature. So this time, we're gonna go maybe more into planting trees and being more mindful. 2 years ago, it was about education. Two years ago, it was about livelihood. But this biennium right now is about the environment, because it's really pointless growing up and working and doing the best, and Mother Nature is dying, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Zhang
Yeah.
has to leave us. Zhang, do you have
Yeah.
a final thought before you have to leave? Because you're being mindful of your destination.
Thank you so much. Just want to say, like, it's really great to talk with you, Christine. I don't want to interrupt you, but it's just a lovely conversation. I don't want to also break this conversation flow. I have to run because I also have, like you, I also have my really like enjoy things. I'm going to dance things in 5 minutes. So my last reflection, I guess, is from all the conversations and from all the things I hear from Russell, from Barry all the time, is about life is about movement. And also don't let the things sitting in front of you to stop you. You should really live in the moment you love to do.
Well, you
That's
go
it.
dance. You go dance, and that brings us to the final piece. We do a quick go around on a final thought. This has been a rich conversation. I would love to revisit this at some point in time. But it's late where you are, Christine, and to honor, your showing up in the first place, we do a quick little go around. Zhang just did her piece. Final little thought that you'd like to leave anybody who's watching this with that they might be able to take away. And we do all three of us, so it's not just on you. Certainly you can start or you can be the last one. I got a bunch of thoughts in my head, and I think Russell's probably got a thought or two. I'm gonna leave it open to whoever would like to go first, and I can certainly go first, but
Chris, would you like to go first?
Okay, so I would always use this statement by Abdul Baha, where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, and there is always time. That I live by this, Barry and Russell, and that keeps me going. Love what you do, and you'll always find time for it.
that's the second time I heard that today, and it's so powerful. Yeah.
Oh,
Go next, Barry.
Well, sorry?
May I go next?
Yes.
So to jump off that whole quote where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, and there is always time. When there is love, also someone walking beside you, not in front, not behind, just beside you. All the things which you think are unsurmountable can be surmounted, because I have the great privilege of having Christine always walk beside me. She's my sounding board and keep me anchored into the principles I swear by. So I swear by them, but my practice of them is facilitated because of my other anchor. And Christine is an anchor for me. And if you find a human like this for you, you will be able to walk this world at a more graceful pace, I get the sense. So Christine, thank you so much for that. And thank you for agreeing to be here. That was my last word, Barry.
Based on the entire conversation, but also based on what you both just shared, it's occurring to me that this show is about exploring what it is to be human in the world. And I've long believed that, when people say I'm only human, it denigrates what human is. That I think our humanity is our highest standard and our inhumanity is our lowest.
Yeah.
And what's occurring to me coming out of this conversation is how important it is to live with both love, intentional love, to know where we can bring our best selves to and who we can best serve in doing that. That's what I'm walking away with, is that if we are to bring love to the world, where do we bring our love to? What is most important to us? Yeah, so this has been really useful. I'm very appreciative of this conversation, Christine, and appreciative of the fact that you joined us at 11 o'clock.
no problem. It's 12
Fine.
midnight. It's an honor. Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you very
It's a
much, Russell.
pleasure.
Most welcome.
So at this point in time, I just do peace with the planet right in between there, and you can say bye or see ya.
I say namaste.
Namaste works for me. All right, bye, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.